Thank you for joining me. This is KATI Whitledge with a Beyond the Technique podcast. You guys, it's time to heal the industry. And I have first time guest and very passionate about this topic, professional multi-location salon owner. We have Ashlee Vance here today. She is not just a salon owner, but a mentor, educator, and the founder of Heal the Industry, a community created to support beauty professionals in building healthy careers, strong leadership, and meaningful lives, both inside and outside of the salon. After spending years behind the chair and navigating the challenges of business ownership, team leadership, and personal growth, Ashlee developed a passion for helping others find a more sustainable way forward in an industry that often celebrates hustle over health. As the host of the Heal the Pot Industry podcast, she's got her own podcast, you guys. We have that link in our show notes. She's created a space for conversations around leadership, mindset, business growth, team development, faith, and the personal journeys that shape who we become as leaders. She's got a heart to help people realize they don't have to build alone, and the success that is most meaningful when it's created, let me say that again. My team will edit this. Her heart to help people. Sorry, I'm going to do that again. Her heart is to help people realize they don't have to build alone, and that success is most meaningful when it creates opportunities for others to grow alongside us. So, without further ado, help me welcome first time guest, Ashlee Vance. Welcome to Beyond the Technique.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm just so excited and honored to be on here and with you. Like, I love your podcast and I listen to it every single week. And I believe so much in what it is that you are doing and helping leaders rise. It's what our industry truly needs. So I'm excited to be here and a part of this.
Oh, I appreciate your words of affirmation and just getting to meet you at the Data Driven Salon Summit was awesome. I mean, we clearly had very similar values. And I know you're not about the hustle, but you've been hustling, okay? Because you have more than one location. They're actually in different states. We're going to get to that. Let's start with your journey. How did you decide to get into the beauty industry and what really led to you being a multi location salon owner?
Yeah, so I love that so much. You know what? I wasn't something that I initially like sought out. I was actually working as a receptionist at a hair salon, and I was taking business classes at a community college. And I remember there was a day where a client came in and she saw a hairstylist, and she said to her, "I've been looking forward to seeing you," and like just genuinely so excited. And I recognized that it had nothing to do with the hair and everything to do with the relationship that they had. And it just like dawned on me. It was like God was like, finally, you can hear me. I was like, I want to do this. It's so much more than hair that we do, right? And it being inside the industry and my journey all along is realizing like the impacts that we have goes so much further than the strands of hair that we touch in the chair, you know? So I started going to beauty school and like everybody else, right? And then I went and worked at a commission salon for a number of years. And I just had a strong desire to be inside a leadership in that salon. Um, but honestly, like I saw like the desire for me to help, but then be the desire or the frustration that the owner was having because she was stuck behind the chair, working her tail off, and didn't have time to pour into her business in a way that the business needed to succeed beyond her. But I really couldn't honestly see that at the time when I was a stylist there. I was just like, why are you so tired? Like, why are you so burnt out? Like, let me help you. I want to help. And so after my time there, I left and went independent and booth rented and rode that out until I felt like I reached my max, right? I'm a goal getter, you know. And I went independent into a suite and discovered that I really love community and wanting to be around other people. And so in October of 2020, which was a crazy time for our industry for sure, and for the world at large, God put it on my heart to open my first salon location, which was insane because salons were shutting down left and right. And here I was being like, I'm going to open my first location. And I very quickly discovered and um, had a compassionate heart for that initial owner that I had worked for because I didn't realize until I was in her shoes, like something's got to change. Like I didn't want to end up like that. I didn't want to end up losing top tier talent because I couldn't just let go to be able to nurture the growth paths for others that work inside my salon spaces. So, but learning like the path of what that looks like, it isn't pretty. It's a lot of what's working, what's not working along the way. Um, but then a year later into being a salon owner, again, God put it on mine and my husband's heart to like move to Texas, which was a whole whirlwind in and of itself. I had to go back to beauty school, start ground up, flying back and forth, like figuring out what it looks like to be an out-of-state owner because there was no roadmap for that either. And building in a whole new state. And so here we are 5 years since that move. And now I've got two salon locations that are thriving. We're growing at a fast rate. I'm just trying to keep up. And I have found that by letting go of where I initially built my value behind the chair and seeing the value of impacts that I could have with my team and pouring into them, the impact that we have for clients is so much greater than it would have been if I would have just held on to what was familiar and comfortable. And yeah, so that was just a little bit, a little short description of that time in the industry so far. And it's just been, I'm so grateful for honestly all the hard lessons because it grew me. Like that's what I think a lot of owners, if opening up their minds to it and being grateful for the hard in the business, like to see what is being planted in that. And if you lean into growth with it, like the possibilities are truly endless.
And speaking of growth, when you move out of state, you have no choice but to solve the problems or the challenges of the business in a different way. How did you grow a business when you weren't in it and working inside of it? How did that work for you?
Oh, yeah. Well, that was, I feel like it took a lot of wrong turns of seeing what's working, what's not working. And really what I found to discover was the biggest impact was having leaders inside of my salon space that could rise and hold the standard in my absence and the opportunities that it creates for them inside of salon leadership without them necessarily having to be the salon owner. And that now I have salon partners in my location. So, leadership is for sure the thing that all salons, like when you have a team culture that you're cultivating, like you've got to have leaders in your space, whether you're there or not, to help hold the front lines of that standard inside of your place, because otherwise it can get a little chaotic and messy. And I discovered that through like hard discoveries, especially being out of state and having to trust that the standards were being upheld, whether I was there or not.
Hmm. It takes a tremendous amount of trust. And yet, as owners, we learn no matter what field you're in, trust but verify. So, what are the things that you have in place that really connect the dots of trusting your leadership and also really knowing that what you think is happening is actually happening?
Right. So I mean, for sure, systems are my BFF as a salon owner. Like if ever anything isn't working out, I can always dial it back to like the system. Kind of like with doing hair. if an outcome doesn't turn out behind the chair, you can pretty much dial it back to the consultation. Like something wasn't connected. It's the same thing when it comes to your salon. There's a piece that's missing, and you got to become almost like obsessed with doing that investigative work and finding what's that missing piece, for fixing whatever issue that you are facing inside of your salon space. So from start to finish, and a part of our cool culture, it is very emphasized that integrity is the root of everything that we build inside of my salon spaces, inside of Heal the Industry mentorship and program. Like it is all deeply rooted in integrity. And that starts from even just like initial interview and asking hard questions, asking questions that align with what the core values are, and one of my favorite interview questions is like, I ask people, like, what does integrity mean to you? And they'll express it to me. Oh, it means, fill in the blank. And then I have a follow-up question, which usually will kind of stump them for a second, which is okay. It's a hard question, not typical. But I ask them, tell me about a time where you had to hold integrity with yourself where it wasn't exactly convenient for you. And I can tell in the interview question if like that is something that like they can humbly own, or something that they're like, I can't think of a time where that's happened. I mean, let's be honest, we're all humans, right? We are not perfect. There are definitely times where we have to share the hard truth. And I want to know what those things are, because being an out-of-state owner, there's gonna be times where your integrity has to be the thing that's leading you, not me, right? So I need to see that from the get-go. And then, through the process of them being a part of the team, making sure that in our one-on-ones, in my leadership team and how they're observing them with client facing, with things happening in the salon, is that integrity being met with their actions as well? Because integrity is ultimately doing the things that you say that you're going to do no matter what. So if somebody has spoken out to me like, I'm going to do this or I want to see this, all it is me as a leader sitting them down and having conversations. Remember when you spoke out that this is what you wanted, this is what you wanted to see happen for you. What do you feel like is missing? And ultimately being a leader, it's guiding your team, not like dragging them along, right? And I recently just did a post talking about how I want to feed stylists who are hungry, not stylists who want to be fed. And really, it's just you gotta want it. And as a leader, if you want to drink, if you want to keep your tank full and not drain the tank, you got to make sure that you are matching energy with people inside of your salon space. If you're the one having to drag them along, you're depleting your resources most of the time versus like people that are on your team that are like, I want it and I want you to help show me how to get there and I want you to hold me accountable. Pour into people that want it. And I find that for a lot of salon owners that I've come in contact with, they struggle with that because they're pouring into the ones that they feel like need it the most versus the ones that are like, I'm hungry for it. Help me, and making sure that you're having discernment between the two.
Okay, I want to break this into three parts, and one of the parts has three subsections. So excuse the way my brain works. But when you think about the 30,000-foot view of looking at what our industry, the state of our industry right now, and what you see is like, wow, we need healing here for the entire industry. What's the first thing that comes to your mind that you see everywhere all the time?
Mindset. 1,000,000%. Like a leader's mindset, a stylist mindset, like it's the thing that holds people back from truly stepping into their calling. Salon owners and stylists, I hear all the time imposter syndrome being thrown out, and it's like, why do you feel like an imposter? It's because the content that you are consuming is making you feel like you're not good enough. Well, unfollow it and rise to who you are and who God created you to be. Don't try to be anybody else. just be you and be okay with it. And don't, we're so critical and overanalyze and think so much about what other people are going to think about us, and that us doing the things that we know in our heart that we need to do, and trust our instincts on that, and trust that that was put in you for a reason. Like, honestly, if we could just let go of that, I would see salons explode. I would see salon teams like come together and rise together and encourage one another. I genuinely believe like our own worst enemy is what is running around in our minds, for sure.
100%. I agree with you on that. Let's move into the salon category, which I think about three parts. You have owners, operational team members, like guest services, for example, and then you have your providers, whether they be hairstylists, barbers, other type of technicians. When you think about healing that type of environment, what do you, in addition to probably mindset being applicable there, what do you see being a number one need that we need to heal this part of the industry?
Direct communication with one another.
Mm.
For sure. A lot of times, like people are so fearful to go into like honest conversations again because of what they think other people will think. But it becomes the toxic thing inside of the salon space when not going to like the root of the problem and going around it.
Mhm.
And are you fanning a flame, or are you putting out a fire at the end of the day, like with all the conversations that you're having? If something is bothering you, I always say go directly to the source, because if you're trying to go around it or go to other people, you're just really seeking validation for how you feel, but you're not actually getting to a result. And I see that inside of leadership. I see that inside of operations. I see that inside of stylists that are performing services. And if we could just get comfortable with going into conversations and knowing that no one can assume your intentions are your own. I think if we could just break free from that, people would not be so hesitant to have conversations directly with one another.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. And just why do you feel like that's such a challenge? Because it's like, you know what's happening in the break room.
Mhm.
Then you know what's happening between Snapchatting each other outside of the salon. This, okay, you and I both know like sin nature, but if we're gonna like call it something secular and like how we can actually, is this solvable? A, do you think it is solvable? And what is like the hardcore core thing that we need to be like doing over and over again to curate those healthy forms of communication?
Yeah, so I genuinely think there's a there's a sense of like trauma bonding inside of the industry, and it's a way where people are feeling like validated in whatever it is that they're going through. But it's not actually like solution oriented, right? And inside of my salons and like how I lead them, I am all about like solutions. Like if you're coming to me with like a problem, think of some solutions behind fixing that problem, right? And it's really teaching like the team to be critical thinkers, right? And teaching like leaders to be critical thinkers as well. If you look for a problem, you're gonna see a problem like every single time.
Every time.
But if you look for a solution, that changes everything. And if you have a problem, just sitting in the problem is just going to make it bigger than it needs to be,
Yeah.
versus getting out of it, And really what it comes down to is like talking to your team and saying like, is this getting you to where you want to be ultimately? And if the answer is no, it's like, okay, like let's go this way then. And a lot of times when it comes to leadership, it's a lot less talking and a lot more leaning into curiosity and teaching your team to be critical thinkers for themselves, not you being the thinker for them all of the time.
I love that. Oh, this is so great. Okay. And then when you look at stylists in the industry, and we're like, we need to heal this industry, because I just heard a friend on social media share that 70% of industry stylists will leave after 5 years. And that's like so painful, especially for somebody who takes the big risk, opens a salon, wants to create community, team, put all of it in place, to have that short of a life cycle is not a sustainable business model. I don't care who you are. That is not a succession plan or a successful business plan. How do we fix this? What do you think?
So inside of the healed industry community, because we have the community and then we have the leaders community. So we give stylists the tools to have healthy boundaries. That's what burns out a lot of stylists is there's no boundaries between their time on and their time off. There's no emotional boundaries. So clients go through heavy things and we are physically touching them. And as artists, like we feel things so deeply, right? And you have compassion for the client that's like going through the hard stuff that they're sharing with you. But let's be honest, like we're not given the tools to be successful with how to handle that. Like it's laughed off as like, oh yeah, going to therapy, but that's genuinely what it is. And we're not given the tools to be successful, to have boundaries so that way you can go home at night and be with your family and connect and not carry the heavy home with you of all of the like clients going through, cancer, clients going through loss in their family, clients going through divorce, clients going through like trauma inside of their families. Like it's so much and they share that with us and we love it so much. And it's not ever something that I would mentor to like walk away from, but it's like recognizing what is yours to carry and what is yours to like let go and give to God, hand it off. Like you can be there for somebody, but if you're carrying the weight of it all of the time, I see stylists like start to numb out with substances, with alcohol. And then they realize like this is too toxic. I need to leave, right? And that's why they end up leaving is because the industry is way too toxic and they're carrying too many things and they don't have the tools to be successful with what to do with those things. That's what we give them. Like that's what we teach them to be able to have so that way they could have sustainable careers inside the industry without burning out and losing themselves in the process as well.
I love that. And it's a huge responsibility for salon owners who they themselves have not been equipped to coach to this. Do you ever see the schools offering this type of education and training? No. So this is going to be on whatever environment a provider starts in. Hopefully, they're having a good foundation being placed for them. Otherwise, we're not going to fix this. So we need to come together on it. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I think that this is vital. And I mean, in beauty school, we're taught the basics when it comes to hair, kind of. Like that's definitely become a loose statement as of
Yeah.
for so long. There's 15 pages inside of the beauty school book for business. We're not given those tools. And there's absolutely nothing to go over having the emotional sustainability and boundaries when it comes to this. So I personally believe it is vital. It's crucial. I've seen the most amazing artists inside of the industry like shine so bright and burn out so fast because they don't have these tools and they carry the weight and they work really long hours and they're squeezing everybody in because they want to be there for their clients, but at what cost, right? And so it's having those boundaries to be able to clock out and go home, not clock out. And then you get the text from the client that's like saying, oh, like I have a highlight that needs to be adjusted. Like, no, like you are clocked out. There's nothing you can do about that highlight until you're clocked back in the next day. So having those boundaries, like having boundaries between uh, salon owners, don't text your team when they're off work. Like all you're doing is causing like anxiety and stress. Our job is to protect their peace. That is my job as an owner is I am protecting their peace so that way they can have sustainable careers. I don't want them to burn out. I want them to thrive for as long as possible, I quote one of my dear friends, Jamie, so many times. I was at an event she was speaking at, and she said, I lead the way I wish I would have been led.
Mm,
And I loved that. Like when she said that, I was like, yes,
mm.
that's it exactly. Is if us as owners can start having more of that heart of when you were the stylist in the salon space, what do you wish your owner would have done for you? How do you wish you would have been protected? And being willing to like go into the weeds of that and say, I am doing this for your own good. I'm doing this to protect your peace. I'm doing this so that way you don't burn out and you can have a sustainable career that doesn't burn you out ultimately. Because our industry, rarely do you see people retire being a hairdresser. And it's my mission to be able to change that. So that way people can actually have a career that sustains inside the industry.
I love that. You play many roles in life in addition to being a salon owner and a podcaster and your community. What is your top priority for for the rest of 2026 that you're focused on? And being a mom, obviously, too, like a wife and mother.
Totally. Right now, my main focus is really for a long time with Heal the Industry. When God put it on my heart to start speaking it out, I will say it's a bold statement to say that I want to heal the industry. So I was just kind of playing small with it, just dabbling in it when I had free time, right? It's very intentional for me now. Like, God's like, do it. Because honestly, for me, it would be my number one life regret if I didn't really pour into this, like how I would feel called to.
Mhm.
And this isn't a small thing. It's going to take a big task, and it's not just me. It's podcasts like yourself, like what you're doing, like that is healing the industry. It's programs that I've been a part of. That is healing the industry. It's salon owners choosing to rise. It's not just, and I think that's what like God unveiled for me is that it's not just me. It's me putting a spotlight on the other lights that are doing this stuff and speaking out the things that gotta change. Otherwise, we will burn out and there won't be an industry to heal. So, really, it's me going all in on this and going after it. So that's what my focus is this year is meeting other people like yourself and having conversations and getting this out there because the more I see on social media is that stylists are craving this, salon owners are needing this, and education programs and podcasts have been speaking this out for a while. And we really got to just like ramp it up because there's a demand and it's time that we start like rising to it.
I love that. And I think a lot of people are on board because they want to see this really be sustainable and thrive. And I don't think we will understand the implications if things don't get better. So I'm thankful for the mission you have at hand, and I'm here to support you. Before we're done today, Ashley, what would be some final words of encouragement for everybody listening?
Mm. I would say if you're in the weeds of something hard right now, just being more open to being like, what lesson, what is changing for me? What doors will open once I solve this problem? And instead of looking at it as so much a problem, start switching that mindset to be more solution oriented. Don't stay in the pit for long. There's going to be pits, there's going to be peaks, there's going to be valleys, but it's like put that one foot in front of another so that way you can climb to the next peak. And you never know what opportunities are going to open up for yourself and for those around you because you were bold enough to solve the problem that was put in front of you.
I love that. Thank you so much for being with me today and just sharing your heart and this passion with everybody listening. I really appreciate you, Ashley.
Thank you so much. This was so much fun.
And thank you all for joining us here week after week. If you appreciate this platform, please take a moment, leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening so that more people like you will discover Beyond the Technique, where we're here to change the way that you're supported in your business. Until next time, have an awesome day and stay strong.
Did you know over 60% of first time clients do not return for a second visit? That is so painful, but it doesn't have to be that way. That's where Maya comes in. Maya is the ultimate marketing software for the beauty and wellness industry. We have a proprietary funnel utilizing special algorithms to help connect the right consumers with the right providers at your business. This means that Maya helps you get higher spending clients you love to work with who stay the long haul. If you want to increase your revenue, increase your client count, increase your average ticket, and increase your new client retention, then you need Maya. Go to joinmaya.com to set up your own personal virtual tour and see why over 500,000 consumers have trusted Maya and the businesses we work with to find their perfect beauty and wellness pro. We promise you will love Maya.